Kickin It with Jake and Noah. What are we kicking? You'll have to find out within the next hour. I'm Jake Liker, along with co-host Noah Taborda, and we are very glad to have you here. I'm in Los Angeles. He's in Chicago. It is currently 9:40 p.m. Pacific, 11:40 Central. You can do the math to figure out your time zone. It is Friday, July 11th, or Saturday, July 12th, depending on where you are. The date doesn't matter. What does matter is how close we are to the end of the World Cup. Third place match tomorrow. Fourth place is not a thing. Championship match. Actually, fourth place is a thing. Ask Germany. They're very familiar with that standing. So before we dive in, like we're Ari and Robin, we need to shamelessly self-promote. Noah, how about you talk about your stuff, and I'll talk about our stuff. And again, thank you very much for liking our Facebook page. We really appreciate that. Donations are also accepted in the form of Dogecoin. If you're not about that Dogecoin life, we also accept $3 million through the streets of Brazil, like we're the golf football team. No.
Yeah, just, you guys, look, we need a lot of money. We have a very lavish lifestyle. You know, we hang with the coolest people. The LeBron news, we knew it a couple of weeks ago, before free agency started.
We're Chris Broussard. Okay? We are Chris Broussard sources.
Yeah, I'm Chris Broussard, actually. Like, Jake is Chris Broussard's brain, I'm his body. Basically, you know, if you want any inaccurate information, ask us. But no, we're reputable. We're reputable. So, first of all, of course, you can like Blake and Noah LA2 Chicago on Facebook. 371 or so likes. Follow me on Twitter, at Noah Taborda. And as Jake said, thank you so much. You know, we really appreciate all the support we've gotten for Kickin It with Jake and Noah. You know, we're just getting off on our feed, only our 5th episode right now. And it really means a lot when we see the results of the time we put in. 312 likes. I think that's a lot more than either of us expect to have at this point. So, again, thank you. And the number to call if you want to share anything you have to talk about sports. Unless you think Carmelo Anthony is going to re-sign with the Detroit Pistons. In case you're wondering why I'm saying that, you have to watch Blake and Noah LA2 Chicago episode 29, which you can find on Spreaker. Jake.
Well, I didn't know that you can watch your radio show. That's really cool. My viewers just listen to it. They're
Okay.
not viewers, they're just listeners.
Okay, by the way, the number is 224-563-8444. Again, 224-563-8444, and that will be in the comment section below.
Again, if you didn't catch that number, that's good, because you're not allowed to use your hands in soccer. I am Jake Liker in Los Angeles. My show is Rookies Roundup, and we only have 109 likes, and I've been doing that show for 11 months now. So if you're listening right now, I would really appreciate... I'm going to be nice and not ask you for a donation or for Dogecoin, but just a donation in the form of a like on the Facebook page would be great. Or you could follow me on Twitter at Jake Liker. I just hit my 2,000th tweet, so I'm kind of a big deal at this point. I'm Chris Broussard, so we've been over this. Instagram at Jake_Liker. And yeah, I think that's everything. Like Rookies Roundup, please. And if you haven't liked this page already, which is highly unlikely considering the number of likes we've gotten, please like Kickin It with Jake and Noah. And now a word from our sponsors.
Really quickly, by the way, it's not Kickin It with...
Sponsor?
We've gotten many letters. We've gotten many letters saying, are you Kicking It with Jake and Noah, or Kicking It with Jake or Noah? We're not that page. That page is not us.
Kicking It with Jake or Noah. That's going to be the final episode. That's the showdown. That'll be the showdown Kicking It crossover, where you can only kick it with Jake or with Noah.
By the way, Kicking It with Noah is much funner.
Okay, I have an Orlando City fan club, so if you're...
Oh, speaking of which, you hear that they're going to potentially sign Robinho?
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so now you actually have a averagely good reason to do a show.
So we have stalled for not one, not two, not three, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 Germany goals in 7 minutes, I believe. I don't have the console in front of me. But we do have to get involved, and because I can't use my Arjen Robben diving pun again, I have no choice but to start straightforward. And by I mean we. So let's talk about the World Cup. It's kind of a big deal if you're into soccer right now. It's this thing called the World Cup going on. This weekend is no big deal. Just the a winner will be crowned.
And Jake, this weekend, it's only like the most important event in the soccer world. It's not that big though.
I don't know the amount of time we gave to the ICC last time. I would think that's the most important event.
Look,
They promise we won't talk about the ICC this time, or at least I won't, because Tottenham's not in it. So, while I weep softly in the corner, Noah's going to start talking about the World Cup.
well, yeah, as Jake said, World Cup will, it's coming to its end, and it's sad. I really enjoyed the World Cup, and at one point, one of the Brazilian greats, Zico, said, "There has been no outstanding team this World Cup." And to him I say, but isn't that the beauty? Every team has been so evenly matched, except for Germany-Brazil. Let's forget about that game for a minute. Think back, past that, because I know it's really hard at this point. But remember all the times, Costa Rica. I mean, who thought that they would be the team to make it to the quarterfinals, to win that group? It's been beautiful to watch it. Unfortunately, the next time that we do Kickin It, there will be no World Cup, and we'll have to wait for 4 years. It's tough, but let's enjoy it while we can, and let's get started. And we'll start with the game that nobody, except for Brazil, but not even Brazil cares about this at this point.
I don't know. Brazil's too busy riding.
Yeah, the third place game. Woohoo! Third place for the people that weren't good enough to make it to the finals and aren't good enough to win. And that will be Netherlands versus Brazil. That's tomorrow at 3 Central. 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, and Mountain Time doesn't exist. Jake.
I don't discriminate against Mountain Time. I don't understand why you want more. How do you expect to get more viewers, listeners, more likes, and completely discriminate against a part that may or may not exist in Skype?
Okay, if you're in the Mountain Time Zone, do you actually go by Mountain Time Zone, or you just pretend like it's an hour earlier?
Well, actually, Arizona doesn't have daylight savings time, so we'll see. So the third place game, keep in mind, the winner gets the bronze medal, and the loser gets the prize that I'm the best at getting. Just ask any little league coach I've ever had, and that's the participation medal. I was really good at participating. That was my expertise. And Brazil and Netherlands will be participating. I don't know if either of them really want to, though, at this point. Brazil has to go back out there. I think they need to redeem themselves, of course, after a humiliating 7-1 defeat at the hands of Germany. And, of course, the Netherlands, who fell to Argentina. You can't really score no goals in 2 games in a row and expect to move on, which means Argentina and Germany will have a rematch of that early 2006 game. Again, make sure you check Manuel Neuer's socks before the penalty kicks begin.
Here's an interesting statistic, actually, that I thought was an interesting stat just to look at. 80% of teams, and this was before this year's World Cup, but 80% of teams that had gone to a penalty kick shootout the game before lost the next game. And it was very interesting because if you look at Netherlands, they played Costa Rica, who had played the time before. They beat them. Then they went to penalty shootouts. They beat them. Now Argentina goes in.
And what about Costa Rica? Costa Rica beat Greece in penalties, but then they lost to Netherlands.
Exactly. So it's interesting to see. One time that did not happen was Brazil, of course. They managed to escape over Colombia, but then they did lose, and it was pretty demoralizing.
Yes,
but the majority of the time, it's come true. So will Argentina hold to that trend, or will they break away? That's later. But for the third place game, Jake, who do you think is going to come out on top? Though I think at this point, neither country will feel like they had a successful World Cup, even if they get third place.
Well, here's the thing. Brazil sort of now feels obligated to win this game. If they don't even get on the metaphorical podium, so to speak, it will be just all the more humiliating for their country. The government itself is probably very disappointed in the fact that their team lost, and now the people have only the government to blame for turning their backs on the infrastructure issues of this nation. At least a third place finish will do well enough. It will be, I know it's called a beautiful game, but this is going to be a rather ugly game from teams that haven't exactly played beautifully, so to speak. I do think that with Thiago Silva, we'll see that Brazil really missed him in that he will make a big impact in this game. So Brazil, you will get a third place finish, and the Dutch, so close but yet so far. At least they're used to it.
Yeah, I mean, the Dutch are one of the few teams that I think should be able to hold their heads up high, actually. They were a team that I think a lot of people thought wouldn't even make it past the groups, and those who didn't think they would go far. So to be honest, I think they've had a pretty successful World Cup. But, knowing the Dutch, they probably feel that they were an embarrassment to their country. But you know what? I think they did well. But unfortunately, in this game, look, it's going to be offensive. Most games like this are offensive in the third place game. They're at that point where they're like, we came this far. Might as well go out there and try to win the last game.
This is a motivation battle. I don't see how Brazil loses. We can say this. I do expect Netherlands to get a gold medal in the diving events when they return to Rio in 2016. Arjen, Robin, take out your Speedo. It's time for round 2.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Brazil. High-scoring game, 3-2. And with that, Brazil gets a little...
I need to score, though.
Oh, you have scores. Jake scored.
4 scored 7 years ago. I forgot to give you my score. Brazil will score 3 goals. And Netherlands will score 1 goal. Whether or not it is a legitimate goal not caused by a dive, that's why we're all tuning in.
Okay, and now, the moment everybody's been waiting for, the final. This is actually interesting. This is when if you've been tuning us out for the past couple of minutes, it's time to tune in. Brazil was destroyed by Germany, and they make their way into the final looking like a juggernaut. Argentina has struggled past Netherlands, but both have had deserving World Cups. The question is now, who will be crowned world champion? Who will win another World Cup? Will it be Germany's 4th, or will it be Argentina's 3rd? So we start with you, Jake. No prediction, no score. Just what do you think about this matchup, and what do you think the factors will be?
Well, I think that there's a lot more history than most people realize behind this matchup. And again, I keep making this whole sock reference, and I realize that a lot of people might not understand what was going on. The last time these two teams met in the World Cup was 2010. And that was not a close game. I believe Germany routed them in that one 4-1, I believe it was. 2006, in the quarterfinals, Argentina and Germany faced off in a Olympic Stadium in Berlin. 1-1, they went to penalties. And that game was actually famous for what the German goalkeeper did. In that he had written down, the goalkeeper was, if you care about Felix Hernandez, that was what that alert was for. Lesson learned, turn down your phone. We're teaching lessons on this show. You see, speaking of moral victories, we're also touring you with morals. Jens Lehmann auctioned a crumpled note on the penalty habits of Argentina's players that he stuffed in his sock at the World Cup, which he used to save 2 out of 4 Argentina penalty kicks during the shootout. And he said that the note was hard to read because it was written in pencil and damp with celeste. So he actually wrote down the blueprint for it in his sock. And it was auctioned off for €1 million. It's about $1.358 million. A really accurate approximation. So a lot of history between them. You see, they faced off in 1990. They faced off in 1986. So a lot of good history.
In 1990 and 1986, that was the World Cup final. 2 times in a row.
And so now we see again Germany versus Argentina. Very exciting to see what happens here.
To add a little bit of drama, it's 1-1 in the finals appearances. So this is a tiebreaker, the rubber match.
So it's going to be exciting. And don't forget to overlook the history between these two companies. I think that's going to be overlooked a lot. But there's a lot of great history here. Noah is grinning.
No, you used a double negative. You said don't forget to overlook the final.
I said don't overlook.
You said don't forget to overlook. Everybody, don't forget to overlook it. Jake really wants you to overlook it. But remember, guys, on this show, we are human. As much as we hate to admit it, we are.
We are human. We're only human. And if you like Christina Perri, this is not the show for you, because we only play a bunch of Shakira songs to usher in the intro. We will play Christina Perri, though, if you call in and get 100 people to like it.
Also, yes, if we get 100 likes, 100 plays, and 100 more Facebook likes, we will play Christina Perri nonstop for an hour.
And if we get 200 of those, we won't play Christina Perri. So we'll see how that turns out. To Perry or to not to Perry? To not to Perry? I don't know. I'm not a fencing guy. But let's get back on track here. Noah, what do you think about this Brazil-Argentina matchup that wasn't going to happen next Germany? So now it's going to be Germany and Argentina. We all assumed it was Brazil-Argentina. That was absolutely on purpose.
Jake, don't worry. I almost made that mistake since I covered it slightly better. Remember when I said Brazil was absolutely destroyed by Germany, who now look like a juggernaut? That was the time I almost said that. But I caught myself. Unfortunately, Brazil couldn't do the same when they were losing 2-0 and realized, hey, wait, we're about to get destroyed. Unfortunately now, they will have to watch as their biggest rival, Argentina, has a shot to win a World Cup in Brazil. I guarantee you this, though Argentina is a South American team, Brazil will not be rooting for Argentina in any way, shape, or form, because they do not like each other, to say the least. And now, on this stage, the biggest thing to look at is Lionel Messi. Because though I think he gets overhyped nonstop, this is his chance to finally prove to everybody, and as if he hasn't done enough already this World Cup, that every bit of criticism that people have handed him for saying that he doesn't show up for Argentina, it's not warranted. But this is his chance to show I am one of the best, if not the best. No, sorry, Pelé. But Messi is trying to prove to everybody that he is the best, because no soccer player comes in with the attitude, I want to be the second best player of all time. No, he wants to be the best. In order to be the best, you have to be like the best. You have to be able to win. But he's facing off against a Germany team that has looked so dominant defensively. And that's going to be the big challenge, to see how this Argentina offense matches up against this Germany defense. And when I talk about that, I think the biggest thing is not looking at Messi in the forwards, actually, but looking at the midfield. Looking how Mascherano orchestrates and is able to move people around and able to control the midfield. Because I think it's a midfield battle. Germany also, of course, in the midfield has Toni Kroos and Thomas Müller.
Javier Mascherano. So he kind of got injured in the game against Netherlands.
Right.
And using his words, he said that he, quote, tore his anus. That must be a real pain in the butt to sit out the World Cup final. Sorry, Javier. But hopefully you will be able to watch from the sideline with a nice heating pad, or however you feel that is.
Yeah, but that opens up another question. How do they manage his injury?
Oh.
That opens up another question. It opens it. Look, Mascherano's gone, so they lose their midfield orchestrator. Puts a lot more pressure on Messi, but I think what they have to do is figure out how to manage his loss. Because they already lost Di Maria. Now they lose him. It's a problem for their midfield. They got to figure out how they're going to handle Kroos, how they're going to handle Ozil, how they're going to handle Müller. And I think in the end, that midfield matchup and how they're able to feed their forwards, how they're able to feed Messi or how they're able to feed Klose, I think that will decide the end of this game because I think though Argentina's defense has been, I think, shot down a bit, I think they're a very capable defense, and as is Germany's. And I think in the end, this will end up being more of a defensive battle with the team, in my opinion, that's able to strike first, winning this game.
Well, yeah, let's keep in mind here, Argentina has only given up 3 goals in this tournament. They did not give up a goal to Netherlands. They did not give up a goal to Switzerland. They gave up 2 goals against Nigeria, 1 against Bosnia-Herzegovina, none to Iran. So they've done well defensively. Germany, what have they done? They did not give up a goal to Portugal. They gave up 2 to Ghana, none to USA. They gave up 1 to Brazil, none to France, 1 to Algeria. So they've given up 4 goals. So 2 very solid defensive teams, 2 very good goalies. Both are nominated along with the 3rd player, which we will talk about later, for the best keeper in this tournament, Manuel Neuer and Sergio Romero. So I think that goalkeepers, the keepers, could prove to be the X factors in this match. Because last game, it was Argentina's defense, the back line being able to make the job very easy for Romero, despite the fact that the Dutch had possession for most of the time. Now, Romero's not going to have that benefit. Is he going to be able to step up and make the big saves to put his country on the highest pedestal there is in the world of soccer, internationally wise?
So we get now to the prediction, the score. And as I said, I think the team that strikes first, that scores first, will win. But I don't think there'll only be 1 goal in this game. However, I do feel the team that can jump out to the lead will be able to hold on, because I think that as that happens, one of the teams will have to slowly start to creep up, play a lot more offensive, that opens up room in the back, and they both have capable offenses. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Germany. I think that they'll be able to take the early lead and probably double up. I'm looking at a goal from Miroslav Klose again to continue his, another good solid World Cup for him. As well as, let's go with a screwball here. Let's go with Mesut Ozil. He's really struggled to score this World Cup, but I think he'll score first. I think he'll be one of the big difference makers. You can especially tell when he missed that breakaway against Brazil even, had a tough time scoring. I'll go with Ozil and Klose scoring, and why not? Lionel Messi gets 1 back, but unfortunately for Argentina, this is not the time nor the place for their 3rd World Cup. Germany takes it. Jake.
Well, I can tell you this. It's a very close matchup. And if we see another 0-0 finish and it goes to penalties, that'll be very intriguing. Argentina has played in more penalty shootouts than anybody else in the World Cup with 5. Germany's tied for 2nd. They've played 4. Germany historically is 4-0 in penalties. Argentina 4-1. So, in the event of a penalty shootout, it's quite the grudge match here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we look back to the group stage, we've seen something crucial here, and that is when we're in a defensive game, often the focus is just to make sure the other team doesn't score, and you lose focus on the real goal, which is to score goals. Germany is going to score first in this game, and I think that could be the kiss of death. Because as soon as Germany goes up 1-0, Argentina is going to be able to focus more offensively, and once they do so, they'll be able to get a goal, a late goal, an equalizer to tie it at 1, and I think they'll finish it off in extra time. Gonzalo Higuain, look out for him. Everyone's going to be keeping their eye on Messi, but Higuain is going to come through big time here. Romero is going to have to hold up strong, but watch Argentina on a counterattack, because once Germany scores, Argentina will be freed up to go all out offensively, and I think it'll work to their favor in the end. 2-1, Argentina wins on their rivals' turf.
Yeah, so we have differing points of view, so we'll go to man of the match now. And as I said, Jake takes the approach of score and then you can open up offensively. I take the approach of score and then you have to open up offensively, not because you want to, because you need to. And that means that Mesut Ozil will be able to control the midfield and orchestrate the midfield on Germany's counterattack, because now they don't have to attack. They bunker down. Mesut Ozil plays a vital role in the counterattack, and after scoring his first to take the lead, I think he helps orchestrate the counterattack that seals it. And for me, he wins man of the match. Jake, will it be Higuain? Will it be Romero? Who will take home your man of the match?
I think man of the match is going to end up going to Higuain, and I think you make a good point with counterattack. I feel that what we saw with Argentina, though, they were able to stymie Netherlands just enough. Even when they went offensive late in the game, when the Dutch came storming down, Argentina held strong. Romero has done so throughout this tournament. That's why I think that despite the counterattacking opportunities Germany will get, and despite how well Ozil will play, I don't think they're going to be able to get that final push. And I think Argentina is going to be able to capitalize on their opportunities.
Well, we'll definitely see. It's going to be a great game. And no matter who wins, I think we both know that these teams have had terrific World Cups. And though most people and most fans will say, look, they didn't win it, so it's a disappointment, that's just unfortunately not true. Both these teams played their hearts out. They played phenomenally. And it wasn't easy. All people remember was Germany 7-1. But Germany slogged through a game with France. They struggled past Algeria. They had a struggle to a tie with Ghana, and it wasn't easy against USA either. Argentina has never won a game by more than a goal. It shows just how much you have to push through. That luck does matter. That you need to have that something extra. And I think both these teams have shown it. So, it's been a great World Cup, and I hope everybody's enjoyed it as much as I'm sure me and Jake have. And I'm sure you have. So, let's keep it going just for a little bit more. And in case you're one of the fans of a team that's out, and you're a fan of a team that, may have a player in contention for award, we'll break that down for you. And we're going to start with the best young players. 3 nominees. Raphael Varane of France, also plays for the club team Real Madrid. Paul Pogba, also of France. He plays for Juventus, or the always terrific Memphis Depay of Netherlands. He plays for, I believe, PSV. Now, Jake. This is one of the more underrated awards, but if we look back, a lot of the good young players have turned out into phenomenal players. You look back last year, Thomas Müller taking home the award, and look how he turned out. He's been amazing this World Cup. So who do you think is in the long line of best young players at the World Cup? Who do you think takes it?
You look through here. Memphis Depay came up big when his team needed him. And I know it's not about offensive success, but what I'm about to say is crucial. Memphis Depay, however you choose to pronounce it, his team has played in 6 matches. He's only played out of 4 out of 6 of those matches. And he has 2 goals in one of those. So that means that he has scored in every other game that he has played in this World Cup. That is a big contribution, needless to say. There's a lot more to it than goals, of course. But Raphael Varane, he played in 5 games. No goals, no assists.
Well, he's a center back. He's a center back, and he started every single game.
That's where you can't go all with goals. Each player has their own different
Contribution.
They're different
Contribution.
Please, yes, thank you. Pogba, he is a midfielder, but his job is to score goals as well, right? That's part of his job.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he scored one against Nigeria, but.
So when I look at this, again, the score sheet isn't going to tell you all about the impact they've made, but it's very difficult to overlook a guy who scores a goal in every other game. Those are crucial moments, especially considering that Netherlands have played in consecutive scoreless draws. So I'm going to give it to Memphis Depay.
Okay, you know what? Depay is a catchy pick. But he scored a couple of big goals. But we're not going to give it to Divock Origi because he came in and played well for Belgium a couple of times. And I think you can look at it the same way. I think, though, Memphis Depay has had a good World Cup. He hasn't provided that same level that Varane has provided the whole time. And Pogba, by the way, he played well. But personally, I don't think he deserves to be in the three. I think that Depay and Varane played at a different level. I think Pogba was, personally, I think he was lackluster throughout much of this World Cup. And much of France echoed my sentiments. In fact, many French people were calling for him to be removed from the starting lineup because they felt that his performance was lackluster and that it was poor throughout the group stage. Of course, the goal against Nigeria helped remove that. But Raphael Varane has been part of the reason this team made it to the point they did. Obviously, he was on the bench for much of the year for Real Madrid, but he did play in that Champions League final, and that gave him a lot of needed experience. Came into this World Cup, started all 5 games. France only allowed 3 goals through their 5 games during the World Cup, 2 of which came against Switzerland. And Varane played key minutes in every one, starting every single one. At the age of 21, that's a lot to handle, being one of the best center backs on the team. You know, him and Mamadou Sakho, both very young players, and especially in that game against Nigeria, they were without starting center back partner Mamadou Sakho. They're probably their most important defensive player, and that's a lot of pressure for a young guy like Varane, but he stepped up big. They didn't allow a goal in that game, and I think that really shows great composure and the ability to handle a team. So I'll go with Raphael Varane. Of course, Depay can't take away from what he's done. He's had an excellent World Cup as well. So, moving on to the best keeper. We have 3 there as well. 2 of them in the final, as Jake said, Manuel Neuer and Sergio Romero. And then, of course, Jake's pride and joy, Keylor Navas, who he predicted as a potential breakout player at this World Cup. If it weren't for the fact that Keylor Navas is 27, I would say he should be the best young player at this World Cup. But unfortunately, breakouts at 27, they don't really constitute you for the best young player. But he has had a great World Cup. So, Jake, who do you think gets goalkeeper of the tournament?
Let's put it this way. When you are on an underdog team, if there is an underdog team, a minnow, as I've learned they're called in the World Cup, that is able to come through, it's because many players stepped up, but one player especially. And looking at how Costa Rica performed offensively, yes, they scored 3 goals against Uruguay. They only put up 1 against Italy. They didn't put anything against England. They only got 1 against Greece, and a man down, by the way. And they did not score at all against Netherlands. And yet they made it to the quarterfinals because they only gave up 1 goal this entire time. And this wasn't because the defensive line did a fantastic job and Navas got to sit back and make easy saves. He was acrobatic back there. The fact that Costa Rica made it to the quarterfinals, despite just scoring 4 goals, and 3 of them came in 1 game, 5 goals, 3 of them came in 1 game, speaks volumes about how much Navas came through for his team, the way he contributed to his team, and the way he really dazzled everyone who watched. He made a name for himself in this tournament. Neuer has been fantastic. Romero, he's got a little bit of a break. Again, the defensive line for Argentina has done very well, as has Germany. Navas has had his back up against the wall more, and he's made the bigger saves, in my opinion, the more difficult saves. And again, maybe it's unfair to Neuer and Romero, simply because they weren't given the opportunity to make these difficult saves. Their backs weren't always necessarily against the wall, but when I look at what Keylor Navas has done, I think it would be unfair not to award him best keeper of this tournament.
You know what? Just if Argentina does win, I think Romero is undoubtedly the guy who deserves it. He got them through multiple games, especially.
What if they win 3-2?
I mean, if it's a poor goalkeeper performance, then of course. But how you see it happening, Jake? If it comes out how I would think Romero would take it. However, I don't think personally Argentina will win, and I think Neuer has gotten to the point where, you know what, he's just performed in another level. The game against Brazil, he comes up, he plays basically a sweeper keeper, a libero keeper. He's all over the place, taking balls out from the left, from the right. He did it against France. He did it against Algeria as well. He shows composure in the back. He provides confidence for his team. And for that reason, I think Manuel Neuer takes it. He has been exceptional this World Cup. I think Navas has been exceptional as well. And I think if he gets it, definitely deserving of it as well. Obviously, all three of these keepers are definitely deserving of it. But I think Neuer will take it because I think he's led this team. He showed composure. And, I mean, it's hard to argue with that, Jake.
And again, I would not be arguing at all if it was given to Neuer, especially if it came out on top.
Yeah.
But as goalkeeper, your job is to make sure the ball does not get into the net. It's impressive that you can run around.
No, but Jake, listen.
Wait, it's impressive that you can run around and then make these big plays and take these risks. Again, Nike is loving it when he is running 30 yards away from the net and kicking it away. However, it has to be Germany's got a better defense than Costa Rica.
Jake, it's like wins and losses for pitchers. A lot of goals. So Julio Cesar didn't.
I'm aware, but I'm saying.
I know, but look, Julio Cesar didn't have a great game. But I think most people who know a good deal about soccer can agree that though he had a not great performance, it was the majority wasn't his fault. When a guy gets a one-on-one with you and the keeper, it's not the keeper's fault. That's defense's fault.
Correct.
Take, for example...
These aren't necessarily one-on-ones against Neuer.
What I'm saying is that to say your job is to keep goals out, but just because you allow less goals doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win.
I agree. However, I'm saying when the disparity is 4-1 and the teams are Germany and Costa Rica, it's very tough. Again, Neuer's deserving of it.
The disparity is 4-1.
Deserving of it. What?
4-1? You mean 4-2.
Neuer's given up 4.
Navas is 2.
No, you give up 1.
1 against Uruguay, 1 against Greece.
Oh, correct. With a man down. But this team a man down.
I mean, I thought what matters is that the ball, it's the guy who doesn't allow the goal to the ball into net. That's my point.
I totally agree.
Too many factors. I agree. I agree.
I think all three are very deserving of it. I believe that Navas, the contribution he made to his team, eclipses what Neuer did for Germany and Romero did for Argentina. Not to take away.
No, that's definitely fair. So we move on. Golden Boot. This is a much more straightforward one. Officially, no candidates. Really, it comes down to whether Mueller can score because he's got more assists now than James Rodriguez, so he would take it if he scores. However, I don't see him scoring, so I don't think he gets it. I only see Messi scoring 1. James Rodriguez takes the Golden Boot for me. Jake, who did you have scoring?
James Rodriguez. He wins Golden Boot.
Okay, now we get to the Ballon d'Or. The best player. The list came up, but for me, there were a couple that really, I think, are down. It's down to the wire here. Cruz, I think, deserves a spot. Mueller, Messi, James, and Neymar. Unfortunately, for, I believe, Cruz, he's been vastly overrated, and I think he'll be out because of that. I think James, despite how great of a World Cup, and though he may still statistically be better than all of the players to this point, he didn't make it to the semifinals, and that makes it that much harder. Neymar didn't make it to the finals, and in the end was injured in the semis. So I think that because he ended up playing the exact same amount as James, he'll be off that list. So I think really it comes down to Mueller and Messi. And in the end, I think Messi's going to take it. I don't think he's had necessarily the best World Cup. I think James has played better. I think Cruz has played better. I think Mueller has played better. I think even Neymar's played better than him. But I think he'll take it because I think it seems to me that this has become his World Cup. It seems to me that people have branded this as his World Cup. That it's his time to shine. Like it was Kevin Durant's season last season. And last season I think he did deserve it. And he did warrant it. KD obviously. But I think this has been Messi's World Cup, and though, me personally, I would either give it to Cruz or James, I think Messi will take it. Jake.
So, again, the entire shortlist for Golden Ball, Thomas Müller, Toni Kroos, Phil Lahm, Mats Hummels, all Germans, Lionel Messi, Javier Mascherano, and Angel Di Maria, all Argentina, Neymar for Brazil, Arjen Robben for Holland, and James Rodriguez for Colombia. James had a fantastic tournament. I think I'm willing to... There are guys I can take off right now, and I agree with you that at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Müller, Cruz, to Messi, and to James. And from what we've learned, this World Cup, there's one thing we've seen, it's that the stars have come out to shine. And I think that either Müller or Messi is going to be able to pull ahead of Rodriguez in this final game because I can count on the stars performing at their highest level at the biggest stage, as we've seen throughout this tournament. And because Argentina will win, I think Lionel Messi is going to play a huge part in that, and I think that's going to give him the edge. Lionel Messi will get the golden ball. If neither of those guys play fantastically, though, James has a case. But I think that they will play very well, and Messi will take it.
Okay, so I think that wraps it up. Spent a good deal of time on the World Cup segment, but I think it warrants it. It's been a terrific World Cup. We hope everybody enjoyed it. And now we move on. And we move on to a topic that has been going on even during the World Cup. Luis Suarez. Suarez, of course, he is now headed to Barcelona. And while everybody's thinking, oh, they just got so much better, the question is now, will he fit? It's not like they have an unlimited amount of positions there just for everybody. He'll play, but is he going to work in their current system? And we're going to start with off the field, because I think off the field, though, is vastly overlooked.
Expensive player of all time.
I actually have a British accent now. I want to butt in with that fun fact. Indeed, Luis Suarez is scheduled to be the third most expensive transfer of all time. I've been hired by the Sydney Morning Herald. Oh, so I'm not British, I'm actually Australian. Never mind, I'm Australian.
Jake, you were so offensive to so many people of Australia or Britain with that. You got them mixed up. How could you, Jake? How could you?
No, I mean, the guy sounded like he had a British accent, and I looked
It's
up...
It's not like they sound similar or anything. Okay. Off the field, of course, overlooked. But Barcelona, I'm a Real Madrid fan, but they've always had class with how they've handled things. Then they bring in a guy who seems to be just basically a disgrace to soccer at this point. He's a racist. He bites people. He's a liar. There's a lot of things going on with him. And for some reason, Barcelona is willing to tarnish their reputation. Honestly, I've lost respect for that organization. Will he fit off the field? No. No, he will not. I don't think his teammates will like him. I don't think Messi will like him. Messi wanted Sergio Aguero. You're bringing in you have an Uruguayan and a Brazilian now around him. He wanted Aguero, and they brought him somebody completely different. I don't think that he's going to fit off the field with them. I think that he is against what Barcelona stands for. I think they are a class organization, and I think Suarez is anything but class. He is the antithesis of class. And in the end, I think that there will be a lot of locker room disdain. There will be a lot of news outside of this for the way Suarez fits with his club, because though I think his teammates have liked him, I think it's different with Barcelona. I don't think it's like Liverpool. This team, you look at the players they've had, they get into the news because Messi's barfing because he has a condition, not because somebody's doing something bad. They're more well known for having a class organization. They like to conduct themselves well, and I'm frankly disappointed in them. Jake, how do you think Suarez plays in off the field?
I think with the way Luis Suarez has conducted himself, on a repeated basis, this, to me, isn't about fitting with Barcelona. It's about fitting in the soccer world. It's about fitting in society. And the repeated lack of class and lack of sanity that Suarez has demonstrated in his personal life speaks volumes to me. Now, on top of that, you have an organization in Barcelona, a very prestigious organization, which prides itself on not bringing in guys with bad reputations. They have good guys there. This is a match made in hell. I can tell you right now that Donald Sterling could do a better job of matchmaking than Luis Suarez.
I think if we wanted a starting...
And the reason that's a joke because, the way he's talked to his wife, the entire thing is really disgraceful. And again, we've seen it before and we've seen it again. And I'm not calling this corrupt, but we're being reminded once again that at the end of the day, sport, and especially soccer, is about money. And if Suarez gives Barcelona a better chance to win, they will get more money. And that is all that matters. However, I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to be well liked or respected by his teammates. I don't think he'll be well liked or respected by the fans, the way he has conducted himself. And how will he conduct himself in a team environment? Because again, in Barcelona, they're not going to stand up for you. In Uruguay, they're going to stand up for you because you're from Uruguay and you're playing for that country. There is no allegiance to Barcelona here. Barcelona is not going to stand up for you when you make more mistakes. So I'm all for second chances. I'm not for fifth chances, especially when it's sociopathic-like activity. It's not right. So I don't see this as a fit with Barcelona. I don't see him as a fit with anywhere except for the Uruguay national team.
Okay, so now we go to the style of play. Now, Barcelona, tiki-taka. That's how they play. They play similar to Spain. Suarez, does he fit with that? Well, let's take this for example. Messi drops off the ball. Neymar plays from the middle. Suarez plays at the point. He's going to be the guy there. He's the target, basically. He's going to be the new David Villa, basically, for them. However, I think that he is more of a pure target. I think at this point he's going to be, first of all, suspended for so long that it's going to take him longer to accustom himself to get accustomed to this system. And what's even weirder is that he's not going to be the center of attention. He's not the number one anymore. And I think that's going to be hard for him. He can't just go all over the place. He has to be much more organized. And you know what? In the style of play, I think that he's a better fit. I think that he's a better fit there than he is off the field. But I don't think he's a perfect fit. I think it's a good match at best. And I think that he will work well in the system. That's saying, we'll get into the players in a second. But just if the system was just a system, I think he fits fine. I don't think it's anything special, but he is what they need. He's a goal scorer. And I think that that's a good replacement for David Villa if that's what you're looking for. Big.
Tiki-taka is a precise and requires discipline. Now, I'm not saying that Luis Suarez is a completely undisciplined player, but he has his moments of recklessness, whether it's off the field or on the field. So it worries me that a player with this many issues now has even less of a margin for error when playing in a system like tiki-taka. That said, we can't take away the fact that Suarez is very talented. He's the goal scorer that Barcelona needs. So there are pros and cons to the situation. I'm not going to flat out go either way. I think he's been put in a good position to score and fulfill the role at which he is best at fulfilling. In terms of the passing and discipline issue, I'm concerned and we'll have to keep an eye on that one. And, of course, the third part of this, Suarez dynamic, how does he fit into the teammates like Neymar, like Messi, like Iniesta? No?
Yeah, let's start with this. Neymar, Messi, and Suarez, the three most important goal scorers on their team. They're all from separate South American countries. Next, Messi didn't want Suarez. He wanted Aguero. Messi, you know what? if he wins the World Cup this year, he'll probably be a lot more happy going to Barcelona. But if he doesn't, he's going to be really unhappy when he cannot play with the guy he wanted to play with. He ends up with Suarez, the guy who just bit somebody, the racist. I don't think that's going to fly well with him. Next up, Suarez is indisciplined, and Iniesta's the opposite. Iniesta's the brain of the organization. He does everything disciplined. He does it correctly. Suarez, I mean, it's a lot of clashing character, a lot of clashing style. Messi's going to want the ball at his feet. Suarez is going to want it as well. Suarez is going to have to cut back on that. And the question is, can he? I mean, he had a lot of great players at Liverpool. Nobody's doubting that. Sterling and Sturridge. But Sterling and Sturridge aren't Neymar, Messi, and Iniesta. That's a whole nother level. That's, in my opinion, two of the three best players in the world, Messi and Iniesta right there, and then Neymar, who's one of the up-and-coming best players in the world. I mean, you have to know how to be unselfish. And if you look at it, Uruguay, he is the main man, even when Edinson Cavani is there. Now he goes to this team, and I think that that's a clash between him and Messi. I think Messi and him will not like each other. Aguero, he understood that Messi was the main man. I don't think they're going to like each other. I think that was one of the tough things with Neymar and Messi. People still aren't sure whether they're going to actually end up liking each other in the long run. And now you add a third into there. Iniesta's unselfish. He's fine with that. But you throw Neymar, Messi, and Suarez all who want the ball. I mean, that's like putting Melo, Russell Westbrook, and Kobe Bryant on the same team and saying, here you go, you all fight for the shots. It's going to be kind of crazy. And while I do think they'll be able to work it out to a certain extent, the question is, how long can they go peacefully while doing it before somebody headbutts a guy like Benoit Asuikoto on the field? You know what, for me, I give it over under 3 months. Jake, what are your thoughts?
Well, are you taking the over or the under?
I'll go under.
You said Lionel Messi said that he didn't want Suarez. I picture sort of like this being one of those horror movies where the kid comes downstairs, it's Christmas morning, and he opens the present, and it's not what he wanted, but he goes to bed later that night, and now the toy is at his bedside, and you just found out that you got a demon toy. That's kind of what happened here. He wanted to play with Sergio Romero instead of Luis Suarez. Yes. Not Sergio Romero, Sergio Aguero. Yes, he got a goal scored, but
it's a demon goal scorer.
Yeah, yes. Yes. So I think that at the end of the day, these players are fantastic and have won because they want to win. And so when you have a star like Messi, an up-and-comer like Neymar, and a brain like Iniesta, and you add Suarez to the mix, all of these guys want to win. And they want to win enough that they will be able to work out their differences to win titles. Because that's what makes these players great. That's what separates the greats from the legends. These guys want to win. That's their common goal. And if they can use that common goal to unite them, then Barcelona just became a very scary team.
Not that they already weren't. They already were, but...
Even scarier. A demonic, if you will.
The demon toy!
The demon toy. I kind of picture that like weird monkey with symbols from Toy Story 3.
Oh, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, the last 15 minutes for me has been the bash Luis Suarez 15 minutes of fame. But now I think we have to realize that there's a common goal that will unite these four players.
Jake, but he likes Italian, and Argentinian is very close to Italian.
Well, luckily, we found out he doesn't like Greek.
He doesn't like Greek. I mean, what if he finds out that he likes Argentina and Italian are very close? What happens if he finds out that he likes variations of Italian? This could be a problem. What if they're in the same hotel room?
Variations. Okay, if he likes variations of Italian, then I think we need to get the Pope to evacuate Vatican City, bring out the security, because there's a cannibal on the loose, a cannibal on the, help me out with an alliteration here for my next horror movie.
I don't have one.
Cannibal in the Catholic Church.
Oh my god. Okay, everybody. With that, I think, look, let's give it a final grade here. Now, here's what I think. I think it makes them better. But how long do I think this works? To me, I think Barcelona, and some may disagree with me, I think they're planning for Messi leaving, personally. And I think that's so hard to imagine, because he's grown up there. But they're not doing things for Messi at this point. And when does it get to the point that Messi says, look, I just want to have a club that's going to do what I want, to a certain extent. And here's the thing. Real Madrid's getting better and at a faster pace than them. They're bringing in players who are ready to accept their roles. And Barcelona, their biggest problem isn't even up front. It's in the back. They're getting older on that back line with Piqué. Dani Alves has struggled. So what are they going to do there? I think they're personally just focusing on the wrong part of their game. I think they brought in a guy without class. I think he clashes, and I think he makes them better, but not the better they necessarily need. I'm going to give it a C+ with hope. Just a little bit of hope that it gets better. Because I think they focused on the wrong part of their attention and paid too much for a position that wasn't necessarily a position of pure need. Because I think Messi, even if you have not that great of a forward for this period of time, I think Messi can hold on for a year while you boost the rest of your team. So I give a C+ with hope. Jake.
I'm really annoyed because that's exactly what I did. At least I think I did. I wrote down C+, but there's a bite mark on the right side of the page. So it's any variation of C. I recall writing a C+. That's really annoying.
You might want to get that checked out. Like if you have a bite mark on the side of your paper, that means Luis Suarez could be in your house. So you might want to call somebody. Call the police.
He's going after the Pope. I'm Jewish. If you would like to produce that movie, please don't forget to call in 224-563-8444. We will have low-budget producers on the lines waiting for you at the film festival.
By the way, this is a fake movie like Argo. It's fake. It's all a covert operation under the title of the movie. Okay, so we're going to go... We're getting up there in time, so we're going to go pretty quickly through here. Transfer predictions. We'll start with Sami Khedira. You know what? I say Arsenal. I think that he's ready to move elsewhere, and it looks like Arsenal or Real Madrid for him. Jake, do you see him staying at Arsenal? Or staying at Real Madrid? Do you see him making a move to the Prem?
You know, I think that the theme in sports today has been returning, and as we've seen, Jose Mourinho wants to get Khedira. He wants a reunion, and it's very tough to escape the allure of Jose Mourinho. And for that reason, I think that Khedira is going to go to Chelsea.
Screwball! Woohoo! We're on to Falcao now, and this seems... Falcao apparently has a clause in his contract. It's Real Madrid, or it's Monaco. And for me, without a doubt, it's Real Madrid. Jake.
It's plain and simple, Real Madrid.
We go to another guy. I think this is pretty straightforward as well. Cruz said that he's already made his decision. And I'm assuming, as everybody's assuming, it's Real Madrid. It's basically said, done, deal. He just hasn't really announced it or been unveiled. Tony Cruz to Real.
Well, as a matter of fact, 10 hours ago, Bayern Munich legend confirmed that Tony Cruz
Franz Beckenbauer, yeah.
To Real Madrid. Franz Beckenbauer had confirmed that Tony Cruz is going to Real Madrid, so I'm not going to go against Beckenbauer here. Yeah. Real Madrid.
Let's go to another guy. Sought after by Barcelona as their replacement to Dani Alves. Louis van Gaal apparently said that he's, according to sources, going to unveil that he has already bought him and Di Maria. We'll get into that in a second. So you know what? Though I think Barcelona wants him, I think he fits beautifully with Van Gaal. He can play the Robin role, basically, that wing forward. He leaves Fiorentina, and Fiorentina is going to get quite a nice sum of money from Cuadrado as he heads over to Old Trafford. Jake, what do you think?
While it has appeared that Barcelona is the favorite, Cuadrado dismissed the reports that he's on the verge of joining with Barcelona. According to Goal.com, wow, that's so right. I'll believe it by Mark Boyle. It has been claimed that he hasn't talked to Barcelona yet. This was as of 2 days ago. And Louis van Gaal, again, very alluring manager here. Fiorentina really wants to keep him, but Man U can just throw stacks and stacks of money at them. And at some point, it's too difficult to avoid those stacks. Just ask Johnny Manziel. Juan Cuadrado, welcome to Man U.
Okay, we go to the other guy, Angel Di Maria. Often teams say, what do we have to pay you for him? No, Real Madrid said to Manchester United, how much? We'll give you him. How much do you want to pay us? So look, he has one foot out the door. As I said, Van Gaal, apparently, according to sources, has already bought Cuadrado and Di Maria. You know what? They got the right side covered. They'll get the left side covered with Di Maria. They got the center covered with Ander Herrera. They've also got Kagawa as well as a variety of other players. I see Di Maria heading to Old Trafford as well. Jake.
I'm throwing a screwball here because guess what? That team is still struggling. Di Maria has said that he wants Champions League football. The fact that it's taken this long suggests to me that I don't think that he is...
Well, it's taken this long because he's still in the World Cup.
Of course, but he wants Champions League football.
The question, though, Jake, but really quickly, here's the thing. If Real Madrid's offering him to Manchester United, he really has no say whether or not he's going to get Champions League football or not. To be fair, he doesn't get to choose.
Oh, right. He doesn't have the offers. He doesn't.
He'll tell Real Madrid.
He's got the choice.
Here's the thing. Because the thing is, Real Madrid wants to get the money to be able to buy guys like Falcao. So they got to sell somebody.
Well, here's what Mirror of the UK reported earlier today. Quote, Real Madrid are ready to sell Angel Di Maria for 40 million euros, but he will snub Manchester United. Argentina World Cup winger Di Maria has hit a contract stalemate at European champions Real and are now ready to cash in rather than meet his demands, although coach Carlo Ancelotti will try to persuade them not to sell. Top Asian Jorge Mendes has sounded out several top European sides, but Di Maria has made clear he wants to go to a club in the Champions League. So other guys are coming forward as frontrunners. PSG and Juventus. Right now they're talking with Man U. If this stalemate goes on, I'm not so sure about Man U. But I can't say not Man U. He's going to go to, not Man U, Italian title winners, Juventus.
Okay, we go to Felipe Luis now. So it will look like a done deal. He was headed to Chelsea, becoming another Atletico member to move to Juventus. But now look who's stepped up. Somebody who's not a big-time transfer window guy, but Tottenham Hotspur, Jake's team, trying to sabotage the deal, according to sources. And while it still looks likely that he will head to Chelsea, as we know, you can't necessarily not Spurs. Me personally, I still think Mourinho's too much, and I think that Chelsea is too much for Tottenham, especially when Tottenham has a couple of other players they're looking at, which we'll get into in a second. So, Jake, do you think Felipe Luis will have do you think that Tottenham could ruin this, or do you think that Chelsea has too much firepower?
I actually was not aware that Tottenham was interested in Felipe Luis. But that's not really how it works, as I learned in my recent tenure as Tottenham supporter. We don't hijack them, they hijack us. And by them, I mean everybody. So, they're so close with Chelsea, I don't see them backing down now. There was a report yesterday by Daily Mail of the UK that Chelsea has made signing Felipe Luis a priority, and I think that he is going to go to Chelsea.
Okay, next up, big name right now, James Rodriguez. Bidding is set to start at 75 million euros. And really, if Real Madrid's willing to pay that much, he's headed to be the next member of Los Galacticos. And I think that it's going to happen. They're looking at Falcao, they're looking at Rodriguez, and what a better way to make both of them happy than by bringing them both in. It's a match made in heaven, especially based off of his system, how he likes to play. I like James Rodriguez, and I think that he ends up in Real Madrid. If they're willing to pay 80 million euros, I don't think there's a way that Monaco doesn't accept that. Because that is a boatload of money. That's over 100 million US dollars, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty, some. Kind of get what I get like every couple of minutes, but some people just aren't as well off as I am. Jake.
Oh yes, of course, our sponsors, our blockbuster hit about cannibal raging through Vatican City has brought in Noah a lot of money. We're currently in dispute right now. He is sending $3 million of cash in a truck across the country to Los Angeles before I quit the show. So thank you, Noah. We really appreciate that, although you could have done it by plane. James Rodriguez, look, Real Madrid should be turning to Barcelona right now saying, see, this is how you do matchmaking. You get James Rodriguez and you offer him an amount of money that he just can't say no to. And along with that, he's going to bring his best friend with him, or his fellow countryman, in Ramadel Falcao, or Ranamel, or something like that. James Rodriguez and Falcao are both together, and Real Madrid, the strong only get strong.
Okay, and here's my theory. Tottenham isn't going after Felipe Luis because they want him. I think Tottenham's going after Felipe Luis to distract Chelsea from the bigger fish here, and that's Romelu Lukaku. Struggled in the World Cup, but Tottenham wants him, and I think Chelsea personally would be making a mistake letting him go because he's still so young. I think Tottenham ends up with him. Because Chelsea's so focused on Felipe Luis, I think Tottenham drives up the price, first of all, for Felipe Luis, making it really difficult for Chelsea to retain the services of Lukaku, and I think he ends up as a Spur, and I think that's a great signing for this Tottenham team. I think he fits well with the team, and I think it's a beautiful decision. I think it really improves their chances of maybe being able to get back to the Champions League and having a successful Premier League season. Jake, your thoughts on Romelu Lukaku?
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? However, yes, this is part of Chelsea, but he was on loan with Everton. And he was happy with Everton, and Roberto Martinez, manager of Everton, wanted to bring him back. I think familiarity is going to play a big role here, and I think that the fact that he played well in the World Cup hurt Spurs in that it increased his value. So I think Martinez is going to fight to keep the 6'8". Not the 6'8" striker for Lucini Traore. But I do think that they're going to hold on to Romelu Lukaku, and not from Chelsea. Now it's not a loan. He's going to buy. Yes, he didn't play well until that game against the USA. Once he scored that goal, when you score a goal in the World Cup, your name gets on the list, and it might be blown out of proportion, but it doesn't matter. Because that makes your value go up. And when your value goes up, it means the Spurs are not going to get him.
Okay,
Please get Lukaku.
Yeah, we move on now. Own goal! Yay!
Oh, you sound like Carl. Oh, yay.
Carl, if you're listening, we love you.
We love you, Carl.
Not like the prank caller on Blake and Noah, who loves Blake. But that's a weird love.
Wait, you know what? Can we do something for Carl? Can we just allow me to do something here? We're talking about the MLB All-Star Game, but there's another All-Star Game coming up too, and that's the MLS. The Portland Timbers are hosting the MLS All-Star Game. Yay! Portland, they are currently whopping 7th place in the Western Conference of the MLS, which is not bad if you're in the Premier League, but there's 9 teams in the Western Conference. But they're tied with Galaxy, so yeah. But we've only played 14 games and they've played 18. Sorry, Portland. They're going down. They're yelling timber.
Oh, God. With that, I think it's time. I think it's time we go on to Own Goal. This is the segment where we cover some of the funnier news in the soccer world. We start with the always entertaining Mario Balotelli. He likes shotguns. and he doesn't like haters. So you know what? He decided to take a shotgun, point it at a camera, and post it on, I believe, Twitter. Posting it at, or no, it was on Instagram.
Posted it on Pinterest.
Pinterest?
He's taken a liking to Sex in the City. He's become completely basic, and he's really turned his focus to Etsy and Pinterest. He's now going to sell an artisan shotgun, which only shoots cornflower seeds.
Oh, yeah, but he pointed at the haters. He proceeded to delete it because I'm pretty sure that's not good for his image, which, like Suarez, isn't very good. So Balotelli, lower the gun. We're not haters. But I'm definitely not a supporter either. We go on now.
Oh, I gotta do this one. I'm sorry. I opened the show with an Arjen Robben diving joke.
Yes,
this
that's true.
Perfect for me. So, Mexico is very talented in the art of pinata making. And, well, there's a pinata made of Arjen Robben mid-dive. And it's filled with sweet treats. And if you hit him hard enough, the pinata actually comes to life, moves out of the way, grabs his stomach, and points to the nearest person wearing a yellow shirt and asks for a red card. So they actually made a lifelike pinata. This is past Frozen. This is the new Olaf.
Oh.
Mexican pinatas come to life. That's actually the sequel to our
just in case you're wondering, this doesn't happen. Because if it did, I'm pretty sure we would have some problems because Arjen Robben, you know, if there were that many Arjen Robbens in the world, we would have a diving epidemic, and it would be bad.
Although, I must say this. I want to point something out. The detail on his cleat spikes was excellent, but he has 2 fingers on his hands. He's got his thumb and the 4 fingers are clustered together. His hands are like the feet of a 2-toed sloth. Although he's much faster than a sloth.
Except for when he gets hit. And when he gets hit, he becomes a sloth. It's a red card. Oh. Okay, well, you know what? He's been criticized, but as has David Luiz. And you know what? If you are a youth club manager, coach, and you're looking for a good center back, you know what? You can hit up Woucher. Woucher is now offering 3 David Luiz's for deals on the website after his horrible game. So if you're looking for a center back, that's the place to go. They're offering him for £0 instead of the £50 million. You know, that's not too bad. I think I'll buy him. I think that would be nice to have a professional David Luiz with me. Here's the highlights. We found him at our doorstep looking very upset. We're just trying to find a good home for him. Available most Saturdays for side shows. We'll answer to Bob. Would probably still be the best player on an England team. He enjoys elbowing other players, playing long diagonal balls, and roaming about the football pitch in search of adventure. Can also be used as a multi-purpose mop. Highly rated by Piers Morgan. And the fine print? The voucher valid until the 11th of July 2014. We want rid now. Pick up Woucher Towers only. Cannot fit hair through post box.
This sounds like they're selling a poodle.
Yeah.
And the hair is really convincing.
There's more though. Will concede multiple goals. Tissues not included. Hair requires constant combing. This deal is for 2 people. Please also purchase Thiago Silva. Costs of counseling are to be borne solely by the purchaser. Yeah, and there's also a bunch of full details. It's pretty great. We will post the link on our Facebook page.
But, you know, there's another link that needs to be posted, an image, if you will.
Yes.
And it's a rather remarkable image. Now, you see, Noah earlier this summer talked about not cutting his hair for the entire summer. That he did, and was mortified because he thought they cut it way too short and his hair was gone. Not gone, but his... I don't know what you call your haircut. I call mine a Jufro. Well, what do you call yours? A Noah? A Noah? No?
It's called hair. No, I don't name my hair. I don't call it... Hey, Jim. Hey, Fabio. How you doing up there? I'm doing good, Noah.
Fabio? That's Clay Matthews' name for his hair. No, yeah, right. Well, Marwan Fulani, Noah, I mean, looking at this, I think you're going to feel a lot better about that haircut. Marwan Fulani, now, if the name sounds familiar, if you watched some guy that looked like he had some poofy hair and you wondered how on earth this guy was able to head balls toward Tim Howard in the USA-Belgium game, that's the guy we're talking about. That was an insane afro. He cut his hair. But he didn't shave. So now it looks like, I don't understand right now, or his eyebrows. So his eyebrows are way too thick. He has, forget the 5 o'clock shadow, this is like 12 o'clock.
It's pretty horrifying.
And
the hair's gone.
I'm not exactly a fashion expert. I don't understand what's going on here, but here's the best part. The person who tweeted this, Christophe Trevor, at HLN in England. Not England, England, okay. Bye-bye Afro. Someone cut his hairs. Cut his hairs? Is England even part of this planet?
England. Not only is he in England, but he also cut his hairs.
He didn't get his hair cut. He cut.
Someone cut his hairs.
Was there some guy in England just going around using the most annoying pun ever every time they asked him if he got his hair cut? There's no, I got him all cut, so they decided now. Everyone did cut their hairs. It was probably me when I was in London.
Can we say something though? The link, they asked, does Marion affiliated look better with or without his afro? 65% said without his afro. I would like that number to be moved up to 100%.
Oh, no. That's his signature.
You have to have it.
A new picture of him, he looks like
an unshaved baby, like a new baby. He needs.
No, have you seen those eyebrows? It looks like, there was a caterpillar, but they cut it in half. And then, he was sort of like, ate a chocolate cake, but instead of using his mouth, he tried to get the chin, and didn't do a great job of wiping off all the frosting. I'm sorry, Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean, Afro, definitely Afro.
Because Afro is much better. Because right now, his eyebrows look ridiculous.
Hashtag free Fellaini's Afro.
Hashtag reunite the caterpillar.
Reunite the caterpillar. Okay, so, you know what? It's been a great show. Excited about the World Cup, and you know what? It's been a pleasure doing the show with you, Jake. As always, looking forward to the World Cup final. The World Cup final.
The World Cup final. And third place, too. It's somewhat important-ish. Thank you guys all for listening in, for tolerating my puns and my Orlando City FC jokes, for liking that Facebook page, for really getting the word out, making the show popular. Again, please like our shows, as we said at the beginning, we'd like more of those too. And we talk about soccer on them too. This show is just fully devoted to soccer. We thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the World Cup. And if you're anything like me, you started this journey with the World Cup, you get attached to it, and hopefully you'll continue to get to know with soccer. I'll be on this journey with you guys, and we'll all learn together. It's a learning experience. Stay on the ride. See what it's like. The world of soccer has so much to offer, and so do Noah and I. Kicking it with Jake and Noah. By the way, at the beginning, what were we kicking? It was a ball. So, yeah.
That's a surprise.
Cliffhanger. I think Shakira or that Oe Afita song is going to lead us out. Someone's going to sing a jingle for us one day. Think about that. We'll get a new jingle next show. Thank you guys for listening in. For Noah DePorta in Chicago, I'm Jake Liker in Los Angeles. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.